Under the Kafala system, there has been no labor law and enforced unified contract stating the rights of domestic workers in Lebanon and the responsibilities of their employers. Instead, contracts varied between recruitment agencies and individual employers. This resulted in some basic rights and job protections being ignored. The standard unified contract came in to acknowledge basic human rights and basic labor rights. This means things like a minimum wage, a weekly day off. It also stated that the domestic worker is not under any obligation to pay the recruitment fees or any costs related to that. It prohibits the employer from withholding any wages or confiscating the passport of the domestic worker. However, this contract is not a law, and so it does not have any binding power. It is laws and decrees that provide any type of contract with legal power and ensure accountability for those who sign it. The work contract on its own does not guarantee the worker's protection. An employer might breach the contract and not be held accountable because of lack of implementation mechanisms, and especially in the absence of a law that protects domestic workers. The only system that exists in Lebanon to organize the labor of migrant domestic workers is the Kafala system, which is a set of policies and laws that allow for the exploitation of migrant workers. So this contract will exist under the Kafala system and does not abolish it. Well, there needs to be serious inspections and consequences for employers who breach the standard unified contract. Also, the Lebanese government should pass and enforce laws that would in turn give this contract legal power. It also needs to create mechanisms that are safe and accessible for domestic workers to report abuse. In other words, the Kafala system has to be abolished. If the Lebanese government wanted to abolish the Kafala system, then the way to do so is clear. Domestic workers have to be considered workers. According to ILO Convention 189, decent work for domestic workers, governments have to include domestic workers in labor protections and labor laws just like they would any other workers. So, to abolish the Kafala system, the Lebanese government has to ratify Convention 189 and has to include migrant domestic workers in its labor law.